Welcome to a new series called Prototype Pictorials, an analysis of real life features for those with an interest or for modelling purposes. In this episode I'm talking about an aspect of buildings that many will possibly overlook, and that is painted signage. Now this broadly falls into two categories: business signage, either to identify them or the services offered, or to advertise a product or brand. The examples I will be using here are all located in the wider Birmingham, UK area, and are ones I've seen myself, and where my photographs have not covered them properly, I've used Google Maps or images from Flickr. A great many of these signs are being uncovered of late by the removal of modern advertising boards and displays showing these unique pieces of history. The first one I will talk about is of Harold F. Ward, which is business signage. This sign is a little harder to see due to a newer building being built preventing a false shot, and the sign is no longer complete to the installation of the window. The full sign would read Harold F. Ward Limited for Radio Electrical, Murphy, HMV, Pye & Company. Moving on to the next signs. These four are located further along the Stratford Road in the Spark Hill, Spark Brook area. The first is actually advertising for a butcher's by the name of O.R. Wilson. The full sign here would have read Dr. O.R. Wilson & Son Butcher, noted for quality and value, 550 Coventry Road. The second is again advertising, but this time for Twinings Tea. Not much to be said of this sign except for the use of three primary colours, and the possibly more due to, for the decoration, although I can't tell due to the signage age. The third is for a hardware shop. This reads, for hardware tools try Essex first. Inspect our stock. Inquiries welcome. Phone VIG 0779. This sign is showing severe ageing, unlike the Harold F. Ward sign, has a Chubb alarm box installed obscuring the centre of the painting. The fourth and last in Sparkle is far smaller, reading just Find Furs. Judging from the images, this is the extent of the sign, so I would presume a haberdashery or clothing shop was originally located here. Keeping with places beginning with S, we move to Sturchley and a tailor shop sign. This reads CL Carthy, Ladies and Gents Tailor Outfitter. This would have been very eye-catching when originally painted, with a luxurious dark green background and golden yellow writing with alternating red and bright green shadows. We next move to Cartridge. This sign, with previous signs showing underneath, would likely have read Agent for Wheels, Capstans, Tobacco and Cigarettes. Interestingly, the previous sign was larger and also had a refreshments underneath. This shop was likely a corner shop come to the tobacconist, whose sign was repainted to better advertise their tobacco trade, along with a name change. Lastly, we move on to King's Heath and a corner shop with a myriad of signs. This looks like the lattermost read Grocer GM Smallwood, Twinings Fine Teas and Coffees. The sign also has some faded paintwork of a Little Miss Barber, an advertising character for many tea brands. Interestingly, the sign covered at least two previous signs, one of which would have read Smallwood Orantips Teas blended by Twinings. Interesting to note that the change of road sign at some point since the shop sign was originally painted. Research indicates this originally belonged to a Frederick D. Smallwood who married Grace M.J. Biddle late 1940s, and by 1950 were running the shop on this location. Frederick died in 1960 and Grace ran the shop until at least 1965, possibly until her death in 1969. This concludes our tour of shop signs and advertisements. As we've gone through them, you'll have noticed they vary in both design and complexity, from simple black text on white backgrounds to complex fairs featuring multiple font types, shadowing bright colours and colour contrasts intended to attract attention to themselves and the shops they adorn. I'd like to thank ghostsigns.co.uk, birminghamhistory.co.uk and the Flickr photos of Elliot Brown and Hazel Nicholson for their information and imagery which has helped in this feature. Links are in the description if recorded to the sources.